So it's New Moon Day. Well, hi to you. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you're having a great New Moon Day. If you're in USA, I hope Labor Day is really being good for you. Great astrology today, actually, so it should be a good one. Now, earlier on in a quick video I made about my crazy shoe dream last night, I did pull an oracle card for today. It was this one. Adjustments are required, it says. So I thought we'd go down the rabbit hole of that. And to go down the rabbit hole, you couldn't really want a better deck than Tarot in Wonderland, which has lots of rabbits in it. So let's put the camera down on the table and we will do a quick 5-card pick a card and see just what adjustments are required. And here we go. You already know this one. Third quarter moon, it says adjustments are required. Well, this is a new moon reading, but the Moonology deck is making us think a bit like that last quarter way that we've just been through, making sure that things are good around hearth, around home, and actually making new plans. And even though it's new moon, it is a good time for making plans at the moment, because it's not until the moon is 2 or 3% full in the sky in a couple of days time that it's really good to actually launch those plans. So maybe those plans need some adjustments, friend. Who knows? But we will go down the rabbit hole. As I said, we have got card 1, card 2, card 3, card 4 and card 5. So pick a card, pick as many cards as you want, pick all the cards if you like. Let me know in the comments which ones you've picked. That's always good to know. And we'll get stuck in. Let's turn over the first one. Oh, Major Arcana. It's number 18. It is the moon. There is the moon card. And the Walrus and the Carpenter, the famous poem from Alice in Wonderland, which this deck is all based on, comes to mind, obviously, because that's what's being described here. We've got a lobster coming up out of the ocean, and the walrus, as he's walking along, tries to persuade the oysters to come out of the sea, because they're going to have such a good time if they do that. And then when they do come out of the sea, he eats them all. There they are, sort of following him along on the way to sticky ending, I suppose is the best way I could describe that. So make sure, friends, the information you've got is actually up to scratch, is actually something you can really genuinely believe and not just some kind of crazy line that you're being told. I just saw a face on I saw a post on Facebook. That's what I saw. You'd think I'd have seen a face there, wouldn't you? Because it's Facebook. But I saw a post on Facebook and it was someone saying that if you haven't got a job in UK at the moment, you're just absolute rubbish because there are jobs everywhere. Well, there aren't. I've just been helping my daughter look for work and she actually found a job. She starts today. It's good news in that sense, but very, very thin on the ground, and what's there isn't actually paying anything like a wage that's really, truly worth having, to be quite honest. So you see that kind of crazy intolerance everywhere. A lot of it is coming from governments of the world which are trying to persuade us that all the problems they've caused are actually our fault. That's just on the political side of things, you know. There's a whole lot more going on with this, and this world is full of confusing craziness. No getting away from it. So try and get your facts straight as you can. Not that it would be your fault if you haven't, but, you know, read between the lines, I guess I'm saying, of what's going on, because the information doesn't add up. And as the moon card suggests, there is a danger in being drawn by that crazy false light. So card number 1 there. Let's progress to card number 2 and see what we have here. 6 of Cups. Right, and this is a level at which it's very easy to actually delude ourselves, friends, to actually give ourselves the wrong information. So this is kind of more personal than the moon card, but saying something very similar. You see, it's a beautiful scene, a happy enough scene, and they're giving each other these really nice ice cream cup things with lots of chocolate bits on top. Oh, that's made me quite hungry thinking about that. And, you know, really happy scenario. But just because things are good now doesn't mean they'll always be good, unless you do some manifestational thinking and actually do your best to make it last. Although The other side of this card, of course, is that just because things might seem bad at the moment, or just because things might have been bad in the past, it's very important not to be led by that whole idea that things will always be bad, things will always go wrong. No way. The world is always evolving, things are always changing, people are always changing, actually, and the pendulum of life swings. So take that into account, friends, as you're making your plans to move forward and making these adjustments which are required at this time of new moon. New moon in Virgo, September 21, no less. So what have we got here? This is going to be the heart of the matter. Ten of Swords. Right, now this doesn't look very positive at all, does it? Looks kind of quite scary, really. But can you see there is no blood here? There's some sort of red cloth things going on, but no one appears to have been hurt. Someone has been cut into 1,000 pieces, but there's no blood. It's metaphorical, and the changes in the way the world is operating, particularly at the moment, but really particularly over the last century or so, to be honest. It goes back a long, long way. It's kind of pulling the human race apart, and somehow we have to rebuild ourselves, and we will be able to rebuild ourselves because, like I said, this is an absolutely bloodless card, and if we look at the back, the stone wall is bending. It's not as permanent as it looks, this stone wall, and there's a bright new dawn rising above it. So this being the heart of the matter, I'm going to say take heart, friends, because things can and absolutely will get better. We've just got to make that decision in our hearts to let it be so and to do what we can to make it happen. And with a new moon, it's a great time to think of new and useful things that you can do to make things happen in a positive way. And even if you're only making a change to your own life, the more happiness in the world, the better the vibration and the more upliftment there is for people. Now, it's a sword card. Lots of thinking going on, so a lot of decision making to do as well. Nothing is easy, nothing is straightforward with the swords. It's a fact of life. But, isn't it just a fact of life? Isn't life just like that? So much to think about. And if you choose the right thing, there's always the chance that that'll have a slightly negative effect in another part of life or in another person's life. So this needs careful thought. It really does. And you're probably thinking quite hard already if you drew this card or if you picked all five. And I think a lot of us are thinking quite hard all the time. But look, the handle on this sword is a crescent moon, and it's only one of the 10 swords that has this crescent moon. But that lets us know there's a cycle, and that against all odds, things can change, things can improve, and there is much to feel uplifted about, if only you'll let yourself feel it. Remember, Six of Cups here is saying there's a definite maybe on getting kind of dragged down by concerns about the past. There's a definite maybe on being over-optimistic as well. These things always go both ways. But coming back here, there is a definite danger of a false light getting involved. So evaluate it for yourself. This is what the Ten of Swords is all about. Evaluate it for yourself and be willing to rebuild some small part of your life, maybe even some small part of your psyche, and it's just going to help, basically. That's all I can say about it. It's going to help. Who knows in what way? Different strokes for different folks, and I am blessed with a great many viewers for these videos, but it's going to help. Ten of Swords. So what is card number 4? Let us find out at this point. Two of Swords. We've got another sword card. Replete with swords here. Lots of sword action going on. So the Two of Swords, and this is where it actually becomes personal. This is where it becomes a personal decision for you to make. Now, Alice is blindfolded, but the grinning Cheshire Cat, who's shining out of Grandmother Moon here, is doing so for a reason, and she can see the grinning Cheshire Cat. Why? Because the grinning Cheshire Cat also appears as the Hierophant in this deck, and it represents Alice's higher self, her subconscious mind, and that's what she needs to be guided by, because she can't see what's going on in the real world with that blindfold on, but she does have to make a decision, because the two swords are there, they're crossed over. So something's got to happen. There's no getting away from it. The thought process is actually going on in her mind. So if this is you guys, just depend on your higher self. Your higher self always knows where you're going. Your higher self is closely in touch with the universe, and the universe always knows where things are going to end up, because there's no time out there in the universe, and they know the future. They can see the future. We don't get to see the future quite so easily in this world. In fact, a lot of us never get to actually be able to predict the future. That is a whole nother ball game, and it is possible if you get your psychic senses involved, and that's what this card is saying, really. Listen to your higher self. That's where your psychic senses live, and that's where you get to listen to the universe. That's where you get to understand where things are actually headed. So here we go to card number 5. And it's the Two of Cups. Now, this is great. Cheers, they're saying, as they knock their cups together. And the green teapot is pouring mystical goodness into their cups. So, you know, the whole mystery of the universe that I was talking about there in the Two of Swords is actually very relevant here. It's a cup card. It's about what we desire. It's about what we long for. So we're not necessarily out of the woods. In fact, we're right in the middle of the woods by the look of this card. But there are good things happening. We can see playing cards face up here. And in this deck, that always means game on. There's things still happening. There's still things to think about. There are still decisions to make. But once you've got through this whole story here that's being shown in this new moon reading for September 2021, you actually get to know what your desires are. You get in touch with where your thoughts are trying to lead you. You make the decisions you need to make, and then cosmic energy flows down from this green teapot, fills your cup, and hey, you are on your way, and things are helping, things are moving positively, and that is what it's all about. Hope you got something out of that. I hope you got a lot out of it. I certainly did. Drop me a comment down below. Let me know which cards you picked, what they meant to you. It's always interesting to know. Helps us get zeroed into each other on the channel here. Also, why not drop a like on this one if you enjoyed it, and if you never want to miss another video of mine, hit the subscribe button as well. Helps the channel, helps the algorithm. Big thanks to you guys who've already done that, but if you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe button. Also down there is my email address if you'd like a private reading, 35and83@gmail.com. We can go live on Zoom or Skype or one of those things, or we can do it by email, we can do it by voice message. Lots of ways to get a reading, so visit my email down there, or just email me just for the hell of it. Why not? I love to get emails from you guys. Also, my coffee link down there, if you'd like to see what's going on in Twig World, take a look at my garden, take a look at what's happening with the cats, all that good stuff. The coffee page is linked down there, and you can also make a donation and help support me in my work, if you wouldn't mind being so kind, at coffee.com/twig. It's down there, so is my PayPal link. Anyway, meanwhile, have a fantastic time ahead, guys. I'll be back soon with another video. Happy new moon, happy month ahead, and I'll see you again in a future video. Love to you, light to you, blessings, and of course, peace.